Hi everybody! In this lesson, I want to share some information with you about modal verbs. As you can remember from our previous lessons, we studied present modals such as can, could, or should, may, might, and as far as you can remember, you will see in those modal verbs, in present form, we all the time use verb 1, I mean present form of the verb. So for certainty, for advice, for necessity, or sometimes probability or possibility, we studied modal verbs in present forms. But today, I want to give you some information about past modals. When you say past modals, all the time we should understand past form of some certain modals such as must, so can't, or may or might. But I'll show you one by one and I'll express when to use and how to use them. Let's start with the first one. In English, we can use must have done for nearly certain events. Let me explain you more. For example, we have some evidence and we see some clear things in front of us about someone or about something, and after seeing or after experiencing, after witnessing with this situation, we can have some past deduction about this event. For example, you have a friend and this friend that day she is very upset and she is very sad and she is maybe crying. So when you see her, you make some deduction about her life, about her things, about past, and you say, she is crying maybe yesterday evening, maybe this morning, but in the past, not at the moment. But the situation, the result is at the moment, you see clearly. You have some ideas about her. So you make some guess, but very certain and almost certain because she is crying in front of you. And you say, she must have fought with her boyfriend. So when you say must have fought, it is a past modal, and about her you make deduction about her situation, about her past, because the result is at the moment she is crying and you make very strong idea about her, guess about her, and you say she must have fought. Nearly 90-95% you are sure. Otherwise she doesn't cry. But now she is crying. So this is a past deduction about somebody. So must have done our past information, past deduction, and nearly certain, almost certain about her, about this position, about this situation. Let's make one more example. For example, you are calling your sister and you see the lights are on, but she doesn't answer, she doesn't call you back, and she doesn't reply you. So you make a guess about your sister, and so you say about her, maybe she must have been in the bathroom. Maybe she was taking a shower and she didn't hear you. So, but this is your guess about her, because you know, whenever you call your sister, she always takes your call and she always replies, she always answers her call. So in this position, in this situation, you have a strong deduction about her. So deduction is very important keyword in past models. In English, if we are talking about opposite things, for example, she must have been in the bathroom. This is your positive deduction, affirmative deduction about her. Also, you can make this sentence another way. And in this way, we say can't have done. Or sometimes we can see couldn't have done. Let's see how we can use it. Your sister. She can't have seen your call. So you make a guess about her, because otherwise you are sure, almost nearly sure, that she always takes it. She always talks to you. So you say she can't have seen, otherwise she would have taken it. So she can't have seen, this is the negative form past deduction. So must have done can be used in this way also, in negative form. Can't have seen. So you make a deduction about her again. For example, you have a very good friend and she is very honest person, and she is also hardworking, and she gets all the time very good marks, and she is very honest. She doesn't tell a lie, she doesn't cheat, and she doesn't do any kind of wrong. And in this position, if another friend of you tells you she's cheating, and maybe she was cheating yesterday in the exam, and you say, no, she can't have cheated. She doesn't do that. So because you have very good evidence, proof in your hand, in general, when you see her life, when you look at her, you see that she is very hardworking and also honest. So you don't give any possibility. According to your information, your experience, it is almost certain she can't have cheated, because she's very honest and she's very hardworking. She can't have cheated. And for past deduction in affirmative form, as I told you before, must have done is useful, and it is the important thing that you express your ideas. But about negative deduction, you can say can't have done or couldn't have done, as you can see. So for past deduction, also we have some other alternatives. But in those alternatives, we have nearly 50-50 possibility. So what are they? Let's see together. So if we are not nearly certain, if we are not almost certain, we can make a guess again, but nearly 50-50 or maybe 40-60. So we are nearly in the middle. In this position, you use may, might, or could have done. Let's see. We are going out together at the moment, you and your friend is in a panic, and he says, I can't find my keys. And where are my keys? I can't find them. So he says, I can't find my keys. about him, about the situation, past situation. At the moment, he can't find his keys, but it must have something. There must be something about him, about his past. What happened? Why he can't find it now? Let's see. My guess, he may have dropped in the elevator. So this is an option. And another option, he might have forgotten in his other jacket's pocket. So these are my guesses about him. So maybe 50%, 60% he dropped, but it is not certain. So this is my past deduction about possibility. He may have dropped. Or my another idea, he might have forgotten. Also I can say could have dropped or could have forgotten. In this point, I want to warn you about another usage of could have done, because it is important. Sometimes we can say in different way. So let's see. Because in may and might and could have done, the meaning is same. But sometimes could have done can be used in another way. How we use it, and it is really important because sometimes the meaning can be changeable. So we can misunderstand other people or they can misunderstand us. Could have done sometimes is used for past opportunities or past situations, past alternatives. There were some situations and opportunities and some probabilities in the past, but they didn't happen. Let's see. For example, you have a friend in Istanbul and sometimes he visits Ankara, but last time when he came to Ankara, he didn't call you, he didn't visit you, and he didn't stay with you, he didn't come near you. And after that, you learn about him and you say him now about his past situation. When you came to Ankara, so it happened in the past, and you say him, you could have called me. So in this sentence, I should understand it's a kind of criticism. So what happened in reality? He didn't call me. But after those days, after I learned he came to Ankara, I told him on the phone maybe, why you didn't call me? You could have called me when you came to Ankara. So in this situation, there was a chance, there was an opportunity, but he, your friend, didn't use this chance. It didn't happen. So this is the reality. He didn't call you. So at the moment, maybe he is regretful and maybe you are sorry, but you are talking about that event, that situation. In the past, there was a probability, there was a chance, there was an opportunity, but it didn't happen. So, but we don't use may and may have done in this situation. Could have done can be used in two different ways. The first part in probability, the second part about criticism, you can use both of them. And also, in English, while we are talking about our regrets or maybe to criticize some people, could have done is not only one way. We can use should have done and shouldn't have done. Let's see some examples and you'll understand much better. Should have done or shouldn't have done. In those sentences, you always feel something was necessary in the past and something was needed. And it was a maybe kind of obligation, it was a kind of maybe advice, it was a kind of some necessary situation in the past. It was a kind of maybe duty. It was a kind of responsibility, but it didn't happen. Let's see. In my high school time, for example, at the moment you are an adult and maybe 7 years ago or 10 years ago you were in high school and you didn't learn English at the time, and now you are making a sentence about your life. In my high school time, I should have learned English. When you say should have done, which means past participle of the verb, when you say should have done, I understand it was your past responsibility, your past opportunity, your past situation, but you didn't do that. So now you feel regretful. Now you are giving information about your past. So you can't change it. It passed and it happened. It passed. So I should have learned English. At the moment, it means that you don't know now. So maybe it refers, it maybe changes today. So for the future, for your current life, it is effective. So it is important. So you are making some sentences about your life. Also some other people's life you can make sentences. Let's see. About not all the time your life. So you can criticize some other people's lives. So you can say, my brother should have studied more when he was at the university. So in this sentence, I understand your brother finished university, but his points, his graduation level and degree is not enough, and he has some difficulties now while finding some job. So you criticize him. You make some comments about his life, about previous. My brother should have studied. So you criticize your brother. My brother should have studied, but he didn't. So I can understand. So it was a past necessity. And he should have studied more when he was at the university. But what is the reality? He didn't study. He didn't do that. Or vice versa. Let's see. Shouldn't have done. How can we do that? Somebody did something in the past, but it was wrong. It is not good thing. And it was maybe mistake for her or for him. So you criticize about this action. Let's see. My sister shouldn't have married to that man. For example, you have a sister, but in your opinion, she chose a wrong one and she didn't choose a good man. So at the moment, you criticize about her marriage. So you say it was a mistake. So you say, my sister shouldn't have married to him. it is a bad choice. It is a bad situation for her. So you feel, maybe she feels too. So this is a past event. In the past, it happened, and now you say it is wrong. It was wrong. So for should have done and shouldn't have done can be used for regret and past events. And the last one that I want to mention about is needn't have done. Sometimes we do some actions in our lives, and we have some habits, or we do them regularly, but sometimes they are unnecessary in our past. Let's see. Needn't have done. For example, every morning you go to supermarket and you buy something, but 1 or 2 days ago your mother went and she bought a lot of milk. Let's see. My mother bought a lot of milk. But that morning you didn't know that, you didn't remember maybe, and you went again to supermarket and you bought a lot of milk. So when you came home, your mother says you, why did you buy them? You didn't have bought a lot of milk. I have already bought it. I have already bought them. You can say, and you can understand, she tells you, you did something in vain. You did something unnecessarily. So you needn't have bought. But what is the result? You bought, but they are unnecessary. They were unnecessary. So you say you bought a lot of milk, and she tells you, come on, why did you buy a lot of milk? So you needn't have bought. So you understand, she bought and you bought. At the moment there are too much milk, so this is an unnecessary action, and your action, your buying action was unnecessary. And in that point, there is something which is important, really, you shouldn't confuse. In English, about past events, if you know that it is not necessary, and you knew that, and with this logic, you didn't experience, you didn't do that, you don't use this. You all the time choose didn't need to. Let's see. For example, your mother went to supermarket 2 days ago and she bought a lot of milk, and this morning when you were going to the supermarket, you were aware you didn't need to buy anything about milk, and then you don't buy it, you didn't buy it. So didn't need to about past, again, like needn't have done, but you were aware that it is not necessary and you didn't do that. For example, I didn't need to buy some milk because, you can say, you knew that your mother had already bought. So you know this situation and you don't buy anything. So you were aware about it and you didn't do the action because your mother, or my mother, you say, had already bought. And you see this situation, you see this unnecessary action, so you are aware and you didn't buy. You didn't need to. So I didn't need to buy some milk, so I didn't. But if you say, I didn't have bought some milk, but I didn't know that my mother bought it, and I didn't remember, but I did it. So I bought a lot. This is in vain. This is unnecessary. So here you didn't. Because you were aware it was unnecessary and you knew this and you didn't buy. It was unnecessary, you were unaware, so you bought, you did something in vain. So in English, you can see past models in these ways, and also there are of course some exceptional situations and exceptional usages and professional ways. And if you have any more questions about those usages, of course you can write your comments and you can ask me, but these are the most important ones in your daily life. Commonly you see and you experience with your friends, with your maybe office workers and with your family members. So while differentiating them, you should think about as a big picture. What is the situation? What is my guess? And how can I make some sentences about certainty, about deductions? What kind of guesses I can give about myself or about my other people around me? So in English, in past models, these are the things that you should know firstly. And if you have more and further questions, I will be really happy to answer you.